Hi. So in this video we're going to be continuing with our design. So we already completed this schematic and now we're going to convert this to a PCB design. Okay, to do that we're going to go into design, convert schematic to PCB. Alright, so in this pop-up window it will ask you to select some parameters. So board outline. Okay, so you can change the shape depending on what you want. By default it's rectangular. I'm going to choose round rectangular. Okay, X and Y. Okay, so we're going to put start X and start Y as 0. Okay, as starting point for the placement of the board. Okay, width we're going to put as maybe 25 and 35. All right, in terms of mm, and then click on apply. Okay, so once you click on apply, you can see that the board has been shifted, outline has been shifted to the bottom because we have set the X and Y as 0, 0. Alright, so we move all the components in, and after this is just about placement and routing. Alright, so let's go ahead. Again, there is no right or wrong way of placing, but of course the general rule of thumb is to give sufficient space for component placement, alright, while trying to make the board as compact as possible. Alright, unless you are just trying to create something that is just functional, alright, without worrying too much about the aesthetics or productization and so on. Alright, but it's always a good practice to try and make it compact so that in future you know how much space you really need if you want to mass produce the design or something like that. Okay, so let's go ahead. Again, you can use spacebar to rotate items. Let me go ahead to do this. Okay, so R2. Okay, so I'm just going to place the resistors all lined up here. Okay, followed by the LEDs. Okay, and then this LED. Alright, so what we can do is first I'm going to select the resistors. Alright, I'm going to go to format and align bottom so that they're all aligned. The 3 LEDs, I'm going to select them and format, also align bottom, and then this LED and this resistor. Okay, I'm going to select and I'm going to say align vertical center. Alright, align vertical centers, and again this two. Okay, so let me zoom in a bit more. Alright, so now let's go ahead to do the wiring. Okay, so this is alright, so to wire up the tracks, click on this track here and click on any pad and you can wire. Alright, so before we do that, so our design in this case is going to be, it's a two-sided board, but all the components are on one side, all the tracks are on the other side. Alright, so here you can see the layers. Alright, so by default we have 3 layers, top, bottom and silk. And since the components are on the top and we're going to do the routing at the bottom, we're going to select the bottom layer. Okay, select the bottom layer and then we're going to do the routing. Okay, so you can click on anywhere and adjust. Okay, so the track has a default width. You can click on Shift W and we're going to select 20 mils. Alright, as a default track width. Alright, and then we're going to 'to' 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 ' Okay, so let me do that again. Okay, so basically what we are doing, or I'm trying to do, is to just make sure that all the routing is done. Alright, and we do not miss out any wires. Alright, so this is one possible layout. Okay, one possible layout for our design. Now, once we are done with it, we can make the design a bit more compact, all right, plus placing the appropriate labels. All right, so we go back to the top layer. Okay, so we can see that these labels are here: LED 1, LED 2, LED 3, which we can move them a bit. All right, now R1, R2, R3, again we can move them inside the resistor, and if we want, we can also double click and change the name. Okay, so I'm going to put 1K, 1K, 1K in each of them. Alright, now for the H1, okay, so this is the positive because it flows through the resistor and to the plus of the LED. So I'm going to label it as plus minus so that I'm aware that the plus is on the left side and the minus is on the right side. Okay, so once we are done with all of this, basically the last step is to click on this, which is the drill hole. Okay, so drill holes are to help place the drills in the board so that you can sort of mount them in the appropriate location. Okay, so they don't necessarily have to be at all four corners. Okay, you can place them as long as they are placed in positions where we know that there will be stability. All right, and based on that, we can of course choose to move the components a bit. All right, to reduce the board size. Okay, so board outline I can reduce from height to maybe 30. Okay, so yeah, that's around about that. Okay, so if I want to adjust any of the routing, I can adjust it. Okay, and you can always adjust. So it's not that it is fixed. All right, as and when you're doing the design, you may come across, you may think of some other way of doing it that can maybe save some space and so on, and yeah, go ahead and try. Okay, so maybe I can move this a bit more here so that this can come here and this can come here. Okay, I can actually move my design. Yeah, I can adjust my design a bit so that the power connector is in the middle instead of at the corner. Yeah, I think this is nice. All right, now of course what else you can do, you can switch to silk screen layer. Okay, click on text and you can add, okay, anything that you want. Okay, so if you want, you can click, you can enter your name. All right, all right, so the height, the line width, all you can adjust. All right, so maybe we can adjust the line width to okay, make it thinner. Okay, height 1.5. Okay, yeah, maybe the line width can be a bit thicker. All right, okay, all right, so that sort of completes the PCB design. All right, now once everything is complete, of course remember to save your design. All right, and then you can have a view. How will it actually look like? To do that, you go to view, 2D view. Okay, so in the 2D view, you have a feel of the layout of the components, how it will look like. All right, okay, so you can see that in the silk screen, the plus and minus sort of is overlapping with this copper pad over here. All right, so you can sort of come back here and adjust the plus and minus downwards a bit. All right, so again, let's look at the 2D view. So this seems, I think, a lot more better and neater. Okay, now you can also go on to the 3D view. Okay, so the 3D view gives you an idea of how the board will look like. All right, once the components are placed. All right, so if you want to again change things, okay, so for example, if you think that this is better this way, then you can change it. All right, so that all the wordings are aligned together. All right, and it makes for a much nicer design. All right, so let's look at it again. 3D view. Yeah, I think this is quite nice. All right, with the layout and everything. All right, so this wraps up our video. All right, so thank you for watching, and I hope that now you have a clear idea how to go from a schematic design all the way to the PCB, the layout, the wiring, component placement, and so on, and having a good view of how it will actually look like once it is manufactured. All right, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.